Hello, 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 APs. Hello, neighbors. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're watching this in the replay, you already know what to do. Hashtag replay. Go ahead. I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to hop on because the night is going to be good. So you already know what to do. If you are in the room, go ahead and let us know that you can hear me well by dropping a number one in the chat. Let me know by dropping a number one in the chat, you guys. Oh, it is 9 o'clock, so I know everybody should be about settled. You should have those kids down. You should be chilling. Hope that's what you're doing. And I hope you also have your paper and pens ready. Yes, you can't see my face just yet. You'll be seeing my face in 1 second. We're almost there. You know, I had to make sure that everybody got their reminders. All right, but I want to make sure that you can at least hear me now. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So I have a treat for you guys tonight, and I cannot wait for you to meet one of my amazing, amazing friends and buddy. Super excited. All right, I think we're all set, you guys. Let me see if you guys can see me. Let's see. I know I still be working this tech stuff. There we go. Hey, y'all. Welcome, welcome. So today is day 7 of our 10-day marketing challenge. Yes, you have made it to day 7 of our Never Give Up 10-day marketing challenge. So welcome everybody. If this is your very first time seeing me live, I'm your girl Katrina Nickhol. This is your first time being on our YouTube channel and being a part of our group and our challenge. Yes, that is Nicole, not Nickel. Okay. So welcome everyone. So if this is your first day, if somebody invited you to this live, you may not be a part of the group, but you probably was able to see this live on our channel. The Never Give Up 10-day marketing challenge was something that didn't even exist, 10 days ago, but it was something that God put on my heart to do. So it's been a gift to be able to share and to commune and fellowship with you guys over the last 7 days. We have talked about everything from target audience to your ACR, which is your attraction, conversion, and retaining methods. We talked about the courting method, which is how we build relationships with our customers and our potential clients. We talked about surveys and creating surveys that count so that we can ask the right things to the right people at the right time. We have done a lot, right, in a 7 day period, and it's been so dope. On top of that, we have had some amazing, amazing entrepreneurs, experts, and gurus, and just friends of mine that have been coming in and pouring into our community, and it's been amazing. If y'all can rate everything from on the scale of 1 to 10, I want y'all to rate in the chat and be real, because y'all know in our community we be real. We're not fake about things, right? If you can rate how this challenge has been for you on a scale of 1 to 10, one kind of sucky, right? But 10 been amazing. Let us know in the chat how your experience has been so far. Let us know, let us know, let us know. I know some of y'all was like, but these 6 a.m., sis, whew, you got us on live at 6 a.m. on Zoom at 6 a.m. Listen, because if you really want it, you'll do anything to get it, right? So listen, we gotta get it in how we can fit it in, because everybody, we want more in our life. We want to do better. And listen, we're accountability partners. So what better way to start the day than with each other? All right. So if you guys see me looking to the left and to the right, is because we have all the tech and the technology just to make sure that we can see your comments and things like that. So I'm not ignoring y'all. My eyes are not wandering. I'm just really trying to make sure I get all of you guys comments and everything, because we are live in a couple places. Okay. So that's what that is. But if you are ready for our guest for tonight, I want y'all to type ready in the chat. Ready. And while y'all are typing ready, I want to just, I gotta do this, you guys. because I said, how you guys rating the challenge? We have a 20. I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I got a 20. We got 10s, 10 plus, 10, 100. Listen, 10x. Come on. I'm super humbled. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. It is so worth it. You guys have not only, I know you guys been enjoying it, but we have been enjoying it as well. All of my guests have loved you guys and said, hey, whatever y'all need, they're willing to come back. So thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for engaging. Y'all are the best. Y'all are the best. All right. So before, because I know it's kind of late, so we're going to go ahead and jump right onto it. One of my, oh, I have an amazing friend, colleague, and buddy that's on the line, and he is ready just to share, you guys. When I say this guy has been in the industry over 16 years, he has worked with some of the brands, some of the top brands in the industry. If we start name dropping, you'll be like, oh, y'all name dropping. I mean, y'all wouldn't because y'all not like that. But that's how big of a deal he is. Some of these millions people are making, he's helped people make their first millions in marketing their businesses, right? If you want to make a million in marketing your business, let us know in the chat. I want to know, like, what type of time are y'all on? I know some of y'all are like, I'm just good with six figures, because I don't want to work that hard. I know. But some of y'all are like, nope, I got $1 million, $1 billion goals. So if that is the case, then you need somebody like this in your corner eventually when you're ready now. When you're ready, because one thing about him, he's not playing with you, right? When you're ready. But when you are ready to make the big bucks, you're now going over to the big leagues, to the major leagues, and you got to have the right people on your side. And so this individual is one of the right people that you can have on your side. When I say he's been in Forbes, Black Enterprise, he's been on a lot of the top um, literatures that you probably can think of right now. Yep, because he is that dude and he is lending his time, expertise, and just skills to us tonight. And I'm super excited about it. So without further ado, I want to bring David Slosh to the stage. David, are you there?
Yes, I am. Pleasure to
Good.
be here.
Listen, good evening, good night. I know it's kind of late. How
It's
are
all
you doing
good.
today?
I'm doing fantastic. Kids asleep, work is done. I'm here. I can't complain. Life's good.
Man, I thank you so much for joining us tonight. It is an honor to have you on because I know what your schedule like.
Yeah.
I know what your schedule like, especially with that handsome young fella you got over there with this.
4 years old, full of energy. Keeps me up and gets me tired, but it's all good.
I can't believe it's been 4 years already since he's been on the earth 4 years. Time is going by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
fast, so fast. Well, thank you for joining us for the 10-day marketing challenge. Like I said, these individuals are super eager. When I tell you they're doing the work, we've given them homework and action items every single day. They are killing it, and I am super excited. And some of them, this is their very first time understanding or knowing or learning about a lot of the topics that we are introducing to them. But in
Mm-hmm.
our world, for us, it is foundational, right? It
Yeah.
is so foundational. So I guess first, before we even get into that, tell me, how did you even get into this whole marketing thing and in regards to, because at the core of it, it's what it really is marketing, right?
Yeah.
But how did you get into dominating in Facebook and IG?
So my first exposure to Facebook was actually in 2007. So I was a freshman in college, right? So
When did Facebook come out?
couple
2007.
couple years before that. So it was
Wow.
only available to college students. And
Mm,
I got into the network at 18 because it was either you were 18 or you were in college. I happened
gotcha.
to turn 18 as a senior in high school, so I got early access. And then when I went to college, they opened up the ad platform the same year that I was a freshman. And so I was already on Facebook all day. I mean, I'm still on Facebook all day, but I was on Facebook all day back then. And I went down the rabbit hole of wanting to learn online marketing. But back then, it was more so, how do I get paid blogging? How do I build websites? How do I learn PPC? There wasn't social advertising yet. It was all pay-per-click advertising with,
Gotcha.
Yahoo, AOL, MSN. Bing didn't exist yet. Google, all those networks, right? YouTube was
Mhm.
still new. It wasn't owned by Google yet.
Mm,
And so I got into Facebook ads because at the time it was only allowed for corporations, and you had to have like a
Mm.
code in order to get in. One of my friends was in the startup world, and he's like, "Hey, you want to try out this new platform called Facebook?" And I'm like, "I'm already on it." Gave me the code. I got into the ad platform when it was still in beta, and that's when I started playing around. This was back
Mm.
when you could put in $5 a day, and the clicks would cost 2 cents,
2 cent.
5 cents,
Yep, I remember that.
and everything was on the right hand side. So I had very early exposure to the ad network before it became what it is today. And that was basically what motivated me to learn online marketing, because I'm like, oh, I could put $5 in. I wonder if I can make 10 back. That was my whole goal, was like, if I could put in $1 and make two, I'm on to something. Now, of course, I dove into other topics along the way. I wanted to learn
Mhm.
how to build sites and do SEO and all these things, but the advertising side always got my attention, because I remember business owners back then saying, if I could put in money now and make money in the same day, I would pay thousands of dollars for that. And it hit
Wow.
me. I'm like, that's exactly what pay per click and social
Hmm.
advertising is. I could pay for something today and have a revenue result of that in the same day. And
Wow.
so business owners love instant gratification. And so I went into that business. That's essentially what advertising is. It's the business of instant gratification. And so I just went headfirst into it, failed a lot, because those first 6 7 years of social advertising were so new that I don't believe most people even knew Facebook ads as a platform until around 20, let's see, 2012 to maybe like 2014 is when it really
Hmm.
started to pop off. So
Yep.
think about that. I was on it in '07 trying to figure it out.
So a
Took
whole
that
7 years
long.
before, you had a great advantage, a huge advantage.
Yeah. I got in very early, learned it quickly. I remember running my first ad to a webinar back in 2010. Um, so it's like I got very early access to everything, and I learned very quickly, how to help people grow their businesses on Facebook. The thing is that it was just difficult to explain to people why they needed to be on Facebook back
Hmm.
then. Once everyone realized, oh, that's where my audience is, then it became a lot easier for me to turn it into a real business. And by real, I mean having sustainable client flow and having them pay invoices without even being concerned about whether or not it's going to work. It's like everything works. And that took years and years and years. And by the time it became a household name, then it was easy, right? But the thing about it, it took six,
Yeah.
7 years before that became a reality for me. So now it's a very different situation, but I got such a head start in the game that it benefited me over the long term, but I just had to stick with it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Let's, cause okay, so let's, cause it's already late, so let's go ahead and jump right on in. You ready to jump right on in this thing?
Let's do it.
Um, because there's so many misconceptions, especially with new entrepreneurs when it comes to marketing, especially when it comes to like Facebook ads and things like that. When it
Yep.
comes to boost posts and all of that, like
hmm
there, a boost post and a Facebook ad are two different things, correct?
A boost post is a type of Facebook ad, right? So a boosted post is probably the easiest introduction to advertising there is on the network, because if you have a Facebook page or an Instagram profile, you can run a boost post. Right now, you can run a boost post on your regular Facebook profile. As long as you're in
Mm-hmm.
professional mode, I can boost any post I want. But essentially, it's Facebook's way of saying, I want to introduce you to running ads on our network and make it as simple as possible for you, but not give you all the options that you can choose to
Right,
find a targeted audience. It's
right.
basic. I hate saying it's like throwing money into the fire, but it's like you're essentially going, here's my $5. You go figure it out for me. Now, of course,
Yep.
Facebook's not going to figure it all out for you. It's just going to be like, here's a bunch of people, but it's not going to be the people that you want to see your offer or your message. So a
Mm-hmm.
boost post is a great way to just introduce yourself to what this platform can be. Whereas something like a just a traditional Facebook ad, we used to call them dark posts back in the day, but now, a Facebook ad is essentially you open up your ads manager that's been around since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And in your ads manager, you're given all these different options of what is it that you're trying to achieve. I want sales, I want leads, I want awareness, engagement, whatever it may be. And when you choose that objective, you are setting up an ad specifically for that objective. And you get to
Gotcha.
choose everything: budget, location, gender, interests, behaviors, all that stuff. And that is where the power is because you have full control. So boost
Gotcha.
posts, you don't have that control. You get a couple options and then they just do the rest for you.
And I normally try to tell people that because they get so I'm gonna put $100 into behind this boost post. And I'm like, please do not do that. Don't do that. Now, if you want to spend $5 and like you said, throw it in the fire, go ahead. But it is not the same thing because again, you don't get to customize it as much.
Yep.
Now, for those individuals who believe they can just run ads without any type of knowledge, marketing knowledge, or really taking the time to understand their audience before they do that, like what would you tell them? Because I'm always telling people a lot of times people are so quick to say they want to just run ads because they want to market their business, but they
Hmm.
haven't taken the time to do the actual work prior to, so they have no data.
Yeah.
Like how dangerous or not would you say that is? We're not taking the time to learn about who you're marketing to.
So if you have a new business and you have no existing data, no customers, no leads, no nothing, you need to do your research on what your competitors are doing on the network first. By the
That's
way,
so good.
Facebook tells you what they're doing because there's a thing
Yes.
called page transparency
Page transparency. I love page transparency.
where you just go to their page, their Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll show you both their Facebook and Instagram ads. Just want to
Mm-hmm.
put that out there. And in the page transparency, it's essentially going to open up the ads library. The ads library is where you're able to see every active, that's important, every single active ad that is
Yep.
running on both networks right now. It also tells you how far back this ad has been running. And so if they have an ad that's been working since January of this year, it's going to say January in the headline section of that ad, which tells you this has to be working because it's been running all year.
Because they're not gonna put money behind it for no reason. Not that long.
Exactly. Exactly. So when you go into page transparency, that's essentially allowing you to see what has been working, what style of ads they're running. Are they images? Are they video? How long are the video? And
Mhm.
then you also get to see their messaging. So the great thing about this is that if you're someone like me who likes to create multiple variations of ads, you get to start off with utilizing what your competitors are doing as your benchmark, meaning you can use it as inspiration to create your own stuff. Then you go create more ads based on what you want to do. So it's called a split test. You take one variation and you compare it to another. And that allows you to then see like is their version of doing things better than mine or vice versa. So you
Mhm.
don't have to really dig into things like we used to have to do when none of these tools were available. We had to dig around websites and see if we could find an ad on the network from them. There was no transparency. There was no library. We just had to wait for their ads to appear.
Mm.
Now I could just go straight to a page, see what they're running, and go, huh, okay, they're running all videos. They're all 60 seconds or less. Their ad copies 3-4 sentences long. It's good to know that that's what they're doing. Maybe I could do the same thing. And
Mhm.
so it shortcuts the process of learning what your competition's doing. That doesn't mean copy them verbatim. It just means
Right.
now you
Right.
know what they're doing. If they're spending money on it, it has to be generating some sort of result. And so if you are brand new to this whole process, just looking at page transparency gives you enough of an idea of what you have to do and how much you have to create. If
Yes.
you have an existing business, you get to shortcut it even further because you got buyers and you got leads and you got people who submitted contact forms. And that's data that tells you who exactly and what exactly you need to target because you know who is buying from you already. So that data can be used to develop your audiences and to develop, what exactly got them to buy in the first place. You could survey these people and say, "Hey, why'd you work with us anyway?" And they'll tell you
Mhm.
why, and you could use that in your ads. You could use that in the ad copy. And a lot of people forget that. You have customers for a reason. Ask them for some feedback, get some
Oh
critiques.
my goodness. So, real quick, you guys, for those that are tuning in, I want y'all to drop in the chat a couple things he just shared that we have went over the last couple days. He shared or he just spoke 2 to 3 different things that you guys have went over and that was a part of your assignments. I'm wanting to see if y'all picked up what he put down in the chat. Ready to chat. Okay, Tamara, Divine Design, she says, where did you find that on the platform? So, you guys, you have to go to their business page. And once you go to their business page, Davey, I guess you could tell them, but I know as soon as you go on there, it is an area where it says page transparency. And once you go there, it actually would then
Yep.
take you to, it would
That's
take you
exactly it.
to, yeah, into there where
It's
they
either
run
in
that.
their about section or there's a
Mhm,
section that says page transparency somewhere in the
mhm,
side. You have to dig around a little bit, but it's there.
mhm.
And once you click it, then it opens up everything that you need. It takes you straight to the library, but it's
Yeah.
definitely on the page, usually around the about section.
Yes. See, you guys got it right. He said surveys. He said market research. He says your surveys. I'm sorry, not ask your customers. Yeah, data. And one of the things that you guys have to also remember your competitor analysis, right? Understanding what your competitors are doing. And that's when I was telling you guys, that's why you have to have a focus, right? That's why you have to have a target audience or an ideal client so you can understand or go be able to search and see what they're doing. If you don't carve out a lane for yourself, and find out who is doing what you're doing, then you would never have nothing to compare it to. And so that's
Hmm.
why we have to do that work. So you guys can understand what's going on in the industry, right? So that was a very, very good tip. And for those of you who are in our VIP area, if you do need some assistance with finding the page transparency, if you can't find it, then there's something we can look at tomorrow. You just have to remind me when we're on there, and I can do a screen share and share it with you guys. All right. Is this good so far, you guys? She said I have to get better with this target audience.
It
Yes,
takes
yes,
it takes
yes.
practice. That's all it is. It's like muscle memory. You got to do it a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep. David, so listen, I'm trying to, ask the right questions because number one, we got you on, but at the same time, I'm trying to make sure that um I'm not really talking over their heads, if that makes
Hmm.
sense, right? Because we can
Hmm.
start getting into funnels and webinars and things like that. But
Yeah.
what I want to know is more so about if you had to do it all over again, as far as in understanding and learning more about marketing, especially telling a client that is new, like what would you tell them? What some advice you would give them?
If I was starting all over again, I would have started building an email list a lot sooner.
Ooh.
And I say this because it's not that ads are more expensive, because if you think about it, your ads get cheaper when you have an ad that's engaging with people.
Mm.
The more people share it, like it, and comment, the sooner you put it out there, the cheaper your ads become. If you put an ad out there and people don't engage, they don't they don't give you the cheaper delivery cost. Why? Because Facebook thinks no one wants to see it. So how
Mm.
else do you know if you are learning and evolving as an advertiser without putting out a bunch of ads? And so when I first started, I used to, this was when I was broke. I found ways to spend $5 a day. And since then, the whole methodology has still been $5 a day. That's still the boost post methodology that Facebook tells you is, oh, you just need $5 a day. It's still
Mhm.
out there. There's a reason because you can learn for as little as $1 a day. And then as you are learning the platform for $1 a day, you could start to get leads for $5 a day. And then if you want to get some purchases, maybe you put $20 a day, right? So it's incrementally building up not only your knowledge, but you're learning what to look for in your data because you have no idea what is happening until you spend money.
That's
A
right.
dollar a day is not going to tell you whether or not someone is looking at your ad and going, I like this because you don't have enough clicks. So then you put $5 in. Now you're getting some clicks. Well, you don't have any lead data. So now you put in 20. Now you're getting some leads, but you don't know if people are
Mhm.
buying. So as you increase, you get more knowledge. You learn more about your customer or lack thereof. You're not getting customers. Now you know my message must be off, right? These are only things that you develop and learn as you
Over
spend.
time. Yep.
You have to put the
Hmm.
money in. And so I always use the gym reference because it's like, look, you don't go to the gym and automatically start benching 200 pounds. You just don't. You got to start at 5, 10, 15. Like you have to work your way up. Advertising is the same way. I wrote a post a couple years ago where it's like the evolution of an advertiser starts at $1. You really don't become a true advertiser, in my opinion, till you're spending $100 a day. because by
Wow.
then you are getting enough data every day to realize what is and is not working in the moment. You can get leads and customers in the same day for $100 a day. Some people are doing it for less because they've figured out exactly what to say to people in their market, but many don't until they start to spend more.
So
So
let's
I
talk
would
about
have
that.
started.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would have started way back for myself, promoting my product and everything that I do with 5, 10, $20 a day, but I didn't because I was so focused on everyone else. And that's the mistake
Mm.
I made because as an agency, we neglect our own business in exchange for making everyone else look good. Because
How you guys can relate to that?
I've made businesses. No joke. I've worked with over 1,000 businesses. I've spent over $200 million. I've probably made almost $1 billion in revenue for people.
Say that again.
1,000 businesses, spent over $200 million, and I've probably made close to $1 billion in revenue for people.
Wow.
And I know I'm not a billionaire. I'm not worth $20 million. I'm not none of that. You know why? Because agencies focus on everyone else but themselves.
Mm.
That's the whole business model. You pay me to make you a bunch of money, and then I get a piece of it. So I didn't spend enough on me, and I'm spending money
Whew.
on me now. And unfortunately, now I'm battling the same uphill battle I had when I first started, which is now I got to spend my way into being upfront and with people. The only difference is I've done this for 16 years, so I know the
Mm.
shortcuts. But I would have started on day one. Just what if I just put $5 a day towards me and not on everyone else? Probably would be in a very different position.
So I want to ask this question then and get your personal opinion on this because you know in our community, and when I say our community, you know like our friends, right? You know a lot of our friends
Mhm.
run Facebook ads, right? And then you know it's a small pocket of us who are like very organic, right?
Yeah, I've run some of your ads.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's your take on someone that's organic in someone who is well, I know how you feel about putting money behind ads, right? So I do
Mhm.
understand that that's what you do.
Yeah.
But someone who is strictly ad driven and not organic at all versus someone who does both, would you say that one works better than the other, or it just all depends on the model?
If you have organic dialed in and you're running ads,
Mhm.
you are beating everybody. You got
What? Let me
you automatically are going to get results a lot faster than the average person. Now, if you asked me this question when you and I first met,
Mhm.
I would have said, "Oh, I'll just throw more gasoline on the fire. I'll just put more
Mhm.
money into ads and it's game over." No big
Mhm.
deal because I could spend my way into becoming popular,
Mm.
right? Because back then it was easy, right? It was like,
Right,
"Oh,
right.
how much you spend? Oh, I spent $1,000 a month. Okay." I go back to my client. We need to spend 10. As soon as we spend 10, you're gone. A couple months, you're not there because we
Right.
can just push you right out. Not
Mm.
anymore because as a Facebook and Instagram advertiser, I also do TikTok and YouTube and other things, but that's what I'm known for. When
Mhm.
TikTok came out,
Mhm.
all of a sudden it's been around, it got rebranded, they bought Musically, they merged, and then TikTok became really popular in, pandemic. What happened is that as soon as TikTok showed people that all it takes is one video and your profile explodes and then you have 50,000 followers the next day and you're getting all these tens of thousands or millions of hits and these people are real people looking at all
Mhm.
your stuff, your
Yep.
Instagram, your Facebook, subscribing on YouTube. Once that became a lot easier, Instagram used to be that way too, but then algorithm changes and all that, pay to play. Once TikTok came around and said, here's a bunch of traffic. Oh yeah, and these audiences are going to follow you everywhere. And then once you
Mm.
notice that these people will buy from you, whether you do a webinar or you put out a link or whatever, once that became a thing, all of a sudden you put ads on that and it's like, "Oh, where'd those 10,000 leads come from?
Wow.
Where did all these followers come from? Where did these subscribers come from? Where did these brand deals come from?" All of a sudden your
Mm.
email list is massive and it only took a couple months. And it's
That's
because
what I'm talking about.
you established an organic audience in an organic process, as I like to call it, first. And then when you put ads on it, because you already know it's working with your people, you put ads
Right.
on it, 20 times more people see it now. And the other great thing is when you understand organic, the minute your video starts going like this, oh, it's not as effective anymore. Oh, no problem. Let me put some money behind it. Comes right back.
Boom. Right back up
It just
again.
goes right back.
Yeah.
Back then wasn't that long ago because just
Yeah.
2019, I was still doing this, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, the whole strategy shifted. It's
Mhm.
like 2019, I was able to just go, oh, my content's flatline, no problem, put some money, boom, all of a sudden I'm popular. Or it's okay, my content's flatline, no one really cares about it. I'm just going to spend my way into getting leads and sales, no biggie. But now you could see that there are people who are just making an absolute killing with TikTok organic, Instagram organic, YouTube organic, and they're not doing ads. And they
Yep.
still don't. And all I think to myself is, do you not realize how many people have subscribed, followed, like you,
Hmm.
watched your videos, engaged, commented, shared, DM you that aren't on your list? Because those are all people that I could retarget and get them onto my list. And then if God forbid these platforms disappear, I could still email you and I could still text you and you'll still buy something from me.
Hmm.
And so I oftentimes tell my clients who do organic, I'm like, ramp that up because you also are telling me what your audience wants. You're giving me market
Oh,
research for
that's
free,
so good.
right? If your video pops
Good.
and it goes viral, that tells me we need to, one, use that video as an ad, and two, we need to talk about this subject more because people want to know about it.
Did y'all hear that? I hope y'all are picking up what he's putting down. So June asks, what is organic? Organic is when you are pushing your content without putting funds behind it, meaning you're
Mhm.
not doing Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads. You're not doing any of that. You're simply just posting your content, and your content is getting engagement without you boosting your posts or putting any money behind it. Does that make
Freely
sense,
posting on
June?
the platform.
Say it
Yep.
again.
Just freely posting on the platform.
Yeah, just from you posting on your pages, and he's saying if you go viral with that, especially if you begin to put money or ads behind a viral post, like that is it will take you to the top, right? And so we have a couple people on here that have been going viral. We have a couple people that have been going viral. So that definitely, I know that definitely hit home with them. So that is so good. So again, organic is what I'm trying to teach you guys right now. So I'm an organic believer. Now I'm an ad believer too now. So don't get it twisted. But when I say I'm an organic believer, I mean that I believe you have to do the work. Now, of course, if you just do random content and go viral, we ain't talking about that. But I'm saying when you're really trying to build something profitable and sustainable, and you're really trying to understand your audience and connect with them, I believe you need to do that work. You need to take the time to understand who your market is. And like he said, do your competitive analysis, understand what's going on in this industry so that you can have an upper hand. And so what happens is when Facebook and IG decides to go down one day, because we know that didn't happen plenty of times, right? And I heard y'all panicking.
It'll
Y'all,
happen.
y'all made my nerves. Oh gosh, my nerves, my nerves, my nerves. Because again, a lot of our friends, they are strictly ad driven. Me, I'm like, okay, email list, let me go live. Because what Facebook not about to do today is make my nerves bad, okay? But I am very um I'm both. I love organic and I love ads when I need to love ads, right?
Mhm.
Yep. Tamara says, Coach says often we do not own these platforms. You don't. And so you heard the very first tip he gave you guys today. One of the things he would have did differently is he would have started his email list earlier. And so remember today, one of the things, our topic for today was lead magnets, right? Lead generators. And so that's what you guys were creating today. So that was our topic for today. You see how it like coincides, you guys? See how they always come right on time. It's like every time we have somebody on, David, they always co-sign our lesson for the day some type of way. So that's really, really dope. But if you had to give them a number two, if you had to give them a number two, what's something else you would have did differently or you wish you would have known early on?
So this may fall into the bucket for everybody
Mhm.
as an agency and as a business owner in general. I wish I would have tapped into my network a lot sooner. And here's what I mean by that. I'm not necessarily saying, "Oh, let me tap into my network to turn them into clients." No, that's using. I'm not using them in that way.
Right, right, right.
What I meant is there are so many people in my network with expertise that I didn't know they had until I either saw them in person or I finally asked them that question, like, hey, who do you know that can do XYZ? Because there's only so much I can know, right? My brain is a hard drive. It can only hold so much. And every now and again, I got to clear that hard drive. So there's only so much I can learn every day about running a business and operating ads and all this other stuff. I write copy well, but I don't write email copy very well. I
Wait, so
can
you
write
gotta tell me
blog.
what's the difference. So what's the difference?
So I can write ad copy, which is
Okay.
I can generate curiosity and generate enough of a just like an awareness around the message I want to put out there that someone goes, I like this and I need this, right? I could write something punctual enough to get you to go, I want this thing right now. I can create you to have a reaction, an emotion, whatever it is. And I could
Gotcha.
do that very quickly.
And
With
that's more so on the
email,
Facebook ad side, right? Like
it's
the
on the
what people
Facebook
see
side.
visually. Yep.
Yeah. And I could do that on video and things like that. But if all of a sudden you said write an email and I have to develop a story and tie it all in and throw in resources, my brain's like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that right now. And same thing with like writing 1,000-word blog post. I could probably do it, but it might take me a week. And I know some people who could do that 3 times in a day, right?
Mhm.
So there are people in my network that had all this expertise and I never exchanged my knowledge with them so that I could learn what they do or even supply their services to me so I could have sped up the process of growing my business faster.
That's so good.
And, you know, there are people who've come to me and been like, I know you run ads, but I just never thought of getting consulting with you or having you run my ads. And I'm like, I don't get it. We've known each other for 10 years. And then I realized I've done the same thing. Like
Right,
there's
right.
people I know who are multi-millionaire copywriters that I've never asked me to write copy. I've never asked them to write me copy. I've never gone to certain people and been like, you know what? I'm not the greatest TikTok marketer. Can you help me with understanding TikTok? I didn't do that until this past year. I could have done that in 2020 and probably been massive already, right? But
Yeah.
you don't necessarily know this. It's never too late, but you don't know it until it comes to a point where you're like, man, I really need to learn this thing.
That's
And
maturity.
yeah, and it just happens. And so if I tapped into my network a lot sooner, because I went to plenty of events when I was younger. I still go to events now, but I went to tons of events back then where it's like if I just really connected more with each individual and was like, if I connected with you and was like, tell me how to grow an organic group of people who just love
Mhm.
everything I do, I would have done that a lot sooner. I wouldn't have had to struggle to figure it out. But I also didn't communicate with you and said, let me help you with ads. Right. So there's a give and take to it.
It's
And
two
there's a
and
lot of
three
people I didn't do that with that probably could have shortcut my process and I would have shortcut
in
theirs.
your process. Yeah.
And so, I oftentimes I'm more of the giver. That's my nature. Do this, do this, do this. I guarantee you'll get more leads. You'll love me later. And I always walk away from it. I'm like, don't give me anything. I want you to say I'm amazing. And then maybe you'll give me something in return, but I
Something.
just want to give first. And just
Yeah.
from doing that, I've done incredibly well. But there are many times I should have been like, I got one question though. And I should have asked the question
Right,
and I
right.
didn't. So that would have changed the game for me tenfold. And it's not even just the networking. That networking doesn't mean anything if you don't use the network. You just got a big
That's true.
network. So what?
That's true.
So so I never used it. I had a big network and I seldomly
You
ever
have a
connected
huge
with it.
network. You don't have
Yeah,
a big network, Dave. You have a really huge network.
yeah, and I didn't really tap into that network, sadly,
Mhm.
until 2020, 2021. I went
Wow. Wow.
all that time, and I had to wait for something major to happen for me to go, I think I need to start contacting people.
Yeah. And I can and
So,
I can attest to that. David definitely is a giver and a server. I can tell you guys that he offered just even pouring you guys years ago. He was like, "Hey sis, whatever you need, I'm there, I'm
mhm,
there." And I'm like, and for me, because so I agree with what you're saying as well. Because while I had you down, I'm like, "Yep, I'm gonna call David." At the same time, I was like, I understand what David does. I understand the value David brings. So when I get David and I bring David to the city, I'm intentional with it, right? Because I value your time. So it wasn't that I was like, oh no, I'm not using David now. I'm like, no, I know when I need David. I know when I'm going to call David, and it's going to be worth his time. So it's more so like that versus, saying not yet, right? Or not going to call. But
Hmm.
again, thank you for so much for joining for us.
Absolutely.
They are going into the chat, they're learning so much. They say, boy, we've been learning because y'all dropping these gems. Network determines your net worth. And there's so much value in community and networking.
Hmm.
Most definitely. Um, so I wonder, do you think that because we are around so many, um, I'll just say amazing people, sometimes we are hesitant with, reaching out because we do understand the magnitude of what everybody does.
Yeah.
It's not like, because again, I know what you do and I know who you work with and all the things like that and vice versa. But do you think that's probably why we are a lot of times resistant at times?
It's a couple things for me, because like you said, my network's massive, right?
Mhm.
And then I also have people who are getting started, people who've been in business for a long time,
Mhm.
people who are making millions of dollars, and now people making tens of millions of dollars. And it's like you start to put a value sometimes on yourself and what you know, and
Mm.
and occasionally it holds you back from reaching out to certain people. And so, good example. This happened recently, and I
Mhm.
overcame it immediately because I was like, I just gotta ask. I have a client that is worth $100 million, something
Mhm.
like that, close to it. We keep track together. It's a weird game, but basically, it's like he wants to hit this number, and he keeps playing with it. And I always had this fear of just asking for help because I'm like, I'm not really doing much for the guy. Like this was my belief. I'm not doing enough. I'm just running some webinar stuff for him. I'm making him money, but I don't really see how else I can bring value to him. That was my
Mhm.
belief.
Mhm.
So it held me back from asking him, how can I do more of what you do, but implement it in my business so I can have more free time? I never
Mhm.
asked the question. I went a whole year working with this guy, never asking
Hmm.
questions
Wow.
because I thought that based on what I'm doing and what I'm worth and what I'm executing day to day, I am nowhere near where this guy is, so I can't ask a question yet. That was my
Wow,
belief.
that's so good, David.
So just that one example was like, you know what? When I overcame that fear one day, I'm like, you know what? I just got to ask. And if I lose the guy, I lose the guy for asking a question. I don't know why I thought that would happen, but
Mhm.
I just said, screw it. And I asked the question. Now, what has come from that? Well, not only did I ask the question and got a great answer, now he asks me all the time, hey, man, you got any questions you want to ask me? So
Wow.
now I just go. It's just like, let's just ask
Yeah.
all the questions. But it's not even because he's worth so much money. It's more of the fact that he had something that I knew could help me solve a problem
Mm.
I'm having right now, and I was too scared to ask for the solution. And so instead of that, I just had to deal with it until I
Mhm.
came up with a solution that was, covered things up, bandaged it up for a bit, but I still
Mhm.
didn't fully figure it out until I finally was like, I need your help and I have a question. And now I ask everyone questions. Like,
It took
I,
one
I'll,
time.
that's all it took because I'm like, if this guy can answer my question and he's busy, and if he can answer my question, I'm
Yes,
just gonna start asking everyone questions because I already hit the top of the top. I already went to the top of the mountain and asked that question. I'm gonna go to everyone else now and just ask the questions.
that
And
is so good.
sometimes those questions also lead to more business because you start to have conversations around, you know, how could I help you? Well, I'm thinking about this and this, and I'm trying to scale my business more. Oh, what do you need to scale? Oh, I'm trying to sign some higher level clients. Like what? Next thing you know, you're talking about the types of clients you want,
Mhm.
and they go, I know somebody. And next thing you know, you're sent a referral.
And
That
look,
happens all
another
the time.
another problem solved.
Yeah, another one. Oh, I need more business. Okay. I wouldn't have known that you needed more business without you telling me.
Yeah, that
So
is so
it's the same
good.
thing as starting your email list earlier and all this. It's like you
Ask the
have to do
question
it,
earlier.
but you got to ask the question. What is it that I need? What's my problem?
Yeah,
Do I know the solution? If I don't know the solution, who knows the solution? Who can I go to and ask these questions? So, it's all about that net worth, the network that can develop your net worth. Because it's like my net worth is increased as I've started asking more questions, and then actually utilizing the network, getting the information that I need to solve these problems, and then providing something in exchange. It's like, let
yeah.
me help you. And so as I've done that more in the last 4 years, my business has continued to grow. Fun fact, it's continued to grow without growing more clients. It's just grown by doing more for the ones who've stayed with me. So it's like
Mm,
I'm just up leveling my client base without adding on more clients. And so
that's
they just keep
good.
paying more. So I don't have I have more free time. Everything's good. I can raise a kid and still have free time and hang with him, right? It's all these things that most people think, oh, I just got to sign 100 clients and everything's great. I got to have 1,000 customers. No,
You don't.
just work their way up. Work with them. You'll make more that way too. So the questions, helping people solve their problems in exchange, they can help you with solving your problems, and just don't be fearful to ask those questions. That's it.
And so, you guys, I told you, if you heard him, especially at the beginning, his help his clients achieve billions of dollars worth of success, right? I believe you say almost $1 billion. And so
Mm-hmm.
that means there's a high value on what he does. That means that he is that dude. And even with him being that dude, he had to overcome the fear of asking those questions well, it could be pride. For some of us, it's pride, right? I know for me, it was a lot of pride. Like, you know what? I'm gonna try to fix this myself before I go bother anybody else. So I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
say that because even in his position, even with all his receipts, even with all the things he accomplished, he still had a moment that some of us have, or some of you have, even where you are, whether we're dealing with things with relationships, just building our business, or whatever that may look like. So I just want you to know that just because you hit a certain level of success doesn't mean that you don't deal with certain things. Or this is why a lot of you are in the process of healing and growing certain areas now. So then when you do get to a certain phase or level in your life, that you're not dealing with those things, right? Now you always
Mm-hmm.
got things you're going to deal with and grow through. But listen, that's why some of you guys are going to work now. Okay. And so I want to talk about one of the last big receipts you recently just did. We were just talking about over the phone. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You just did a couple million in like a week. Was that something like that?
It was I've lost track of the number. It was 3 months of a case study
Mm-hmm.
where we had nearly 30,000 registrations for the webinars that we've been running over the last 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
and it's generated several $1 million
Mm-hmm.
during that time, running the same webinar twice a week,
Mm.
every single week, with 90 different video ads and
Wow.
countless amounts of ad copy. And the whole thing around that, and by the way, it's the same client that I had fear asking questions, right?
I
So it's
what?
so you know and he called me in the middle of this. So it's like that tells you, like, now he's just like, I got you, whatever you
Yeah.
need, and he'll call me whenever. Like,
Yeah.
he's available now. But it's one of those things where when we developed this campaign, the problem was I'm not getting the customer that I need, that I know will use this program from A to Z,
Mm.
because I give you the whole blueprint and people just aren't going through it, which means I'm getting the wrong people. They're looking for instant success, and that's not what this program provides. But it will give you a roadmap that will make you really good money in this industry as long as you follow it. Okay, got
Mm.
it. So I had to change the language. I had to tell him what he needed to say in videos. I had to tell him the environments to go in and what to wear. Like, literally, wear this, go over here, record over there. Like, I would have to tell him
That's so
exactly what to
good. I hope
do.
y'all listening.
Yeah, because just so everyone knows, you could record and say the same thing in your house and say it outside, and sometimes the version outside performs better than the one in your house. And you said the
Wow.
same thing, right? So imagine I'm telling you to repeat everything you said in the first video, but now I need you to go outside. Now I need you to go to the restaurant. Now I need you to go do this. I need you to wear a red shirt, a black shirt, a white shirt, every variation. And this is what I'm doing day in and day out with one person. Mind you, I still have plenty of other clients, but this one guy, I'm going into super depth, which is do this, do this, do this, do this. And because of that, we were able to pinpoint exactly which video worked, what he was wearing, what he said. where he was located,
Mm-mm-mm.
what copy to use, what the page looked like, all of it. And then we just went, how much money could we spend in a short period of time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the maximum amount? I had to call Facebook. Hey, Facebook. Well, when you spend a lot, you can call them. Just want to put that out there. I
Yeah.
call my rep. Call my rep. How much can I spend in this account? You could spend as much as you want. Thank you for the green light. Call client. I could spend however much your Amex allows. And we just went, boom. We just pushed it as hard as we could. And we did that for roughly about 20 to 25 webinars. Remember, 2 a week. Just
Mm-hmm.
kept going. And it produced several $1,000,000. Like I said, nearly 30,000 registrations for a product that was $2,500, and it had an upgrade to 5,000. Yes, we sold a
Wait, say that one more
$2,500 program,
time.
a $2,500 program
Okay,
that had an
$25
upgrade to
program.
5,000. Yep, it
And then
had
the
an upgrade to
upsell was,
5,000, and we sold it directly on a webinar.
oh, so no sales call.
Nope.
Whoa.
And here's why. We told people on the, and I say we as in I was there making the pitch, but I wasn't. What we did as a collective was he made sure to tell people, for the amount of time that I'm pouring into you in this program, I shouldn't have to get on a call to tell you why you need to buy this, because I have hundreds of students worth millions of dollars now from my training. So I don't have to get on a call to tell you to buy my program. If you don't want it, that's fine, because I don't need to sell this to you. This is a gift.
Wow. Come on,
And
confidence.
so, and you know what? In a weird way, it is kind of a gift because he doesn't have to sell programs. The reason why he sells programs is because it's fun. That's literally what he told me. He goes, "This is fun for me. I coach people for fun. I don't have to.
Wow.
I could burn the whole business down and I'm fine. I do this for fun." Oh,
Wow.
well, that's interesting because this is what I do for a living, but you do this for fun. So I have to make sure that he's at least getting people that he enjoys talking to.
So that's
So
why he has to be
yeah,
intentional with his copy. Oh, so what he means by copy is the messaging, meaning the
yes,
words, the
yes. What I'm
intentional
saying
words
in the ads.
that you
Yep,
send him as. And so remember, that's why I always tell you guys to do this particular research in regards to who your audience is, who you're talking to. But more importantly, this is why oftentimes we say, okay, find one person. That one person is going to represent millions of people, but you
yep,
have to be talking to one person. So what he's saying is he found that one person to talk to, that one person that he doesn't have to beg to get in his program, the one
mhm,
person that feels like it's a gift and it's an honor to be a part of this program, that he don't have to haggle.
right,
So these are the one and all you don't. And these people like, we got it. That he got it from the right people saying, we got the 2,500, boom, and we're gonna do the upsell, boom. And the most you guys made in 1 week with all these different factors, you were able to watch this, y'all. I want y'all to put test and try in the chat. Taste, test, and try. Test and try. Trial and error, right? All of that.
mhm, mhm.
But after all the different iterations of it, in 1 week, you did what?
Our biggest week ever
Hmm.
was around $400,000 in 1 week.
Wow.
Now,
Wow, wow,
remember, in
wow.
3 months, we did like it was like 3 million or something like that.
Hmm.
And so that first, when we knew we hit the home run that week, I was like,
Hmm.
we know exactly what to run, and I'm gonna spend a boatload of money because as soon as you find that winner, fun fact about anyone running ads, when you find a winner, you don't care how much it costs anymore because
Yeah,
now you know that a dollar can turn into two or to three or to four. So now
yeah.
your goal is spend as much as possible as long as those numbers continue to stay that way.
Mm.
That's it. That's also why advertisers use credit cards. Because if you use a debit card, you got to wait for the money to clear. When you have a credit card and things are working, you go, you go, you go, you go. You keep
Yep.
going until that rolling period's over, and then
Hmm.
you look at it and go, I have 30 days to pay this, but the bank is clearing my revenue right now. And so it gives you that time frame of going, how many people stay, how many people refund or charge back. You got to factor in all these things.
Yeah.
Can I cover my expenses? And then after all that is done, you pay that credit card bill from advertising and you go, that's how much I made. And if you do it right, it is a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
it's advertising is as much about money management as it is just delivering a message that gets people to buy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But as an advertiser, I'm just as much into understanding your financials as I am understanding your business. And so I almost become your side accountant because I have to know that you can spend this consistently. And
Mm-hmm.
once I know that you can, it's game over. I can help you scale to the moon.
That's so dope, you guys. I've seen them put money like when they finally have a sweet spot and they said, "Uh oh, it looked like something is working." And the way a person now has like a $50,000 month, $100,000 month, a $400,000 month, all they did was find something that was working, and then they said, "Now add money to it.
Yep.
Let's double, let's triple, let's 10x the ad spend." Meaning now, before we were spending $500 a week on ads. Now let's do 5,000. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do 25,000, right? And then it just takes off. And so she said, "Is that in essence his avatar?" Correct. That's
Mm-hmm.
basically what his avatar is. So for
Yep.
those who don't know, the avatar was basically the sweet spot that they found. So they found a particular person, quote unquote, that met all of the factors that aligned with the colors, the outside, the verbiage, right, the
Mm-hmm.
copy, the webinar, the pain, everything that they tested and tried over the 3 month plus period. They found the perfect person, and that is the avatar that is in the ad spend that they're targeting.
Yep.
So great job, Tamara. Yes, they picking it up. They picking it up. I love it. The money management. Yep, that magic number. So one of the things we talk about is their magic number. The first
Mm-hmm.
thing is them knowing their number. So that's one of the first things we do. But I
Yep.
also give them, because I have the spreadsheet that they do. They put everything in, like, because you got to know your numbers. But then
Yeah.
we also do like a future number. Like, what does your future lifestyle look like? What is it
Mm.
that you want to work towards? And so if theirs is 50,000 a month, if we know that's what the case is, then once they get to a certain place, they know that they need somebody like you to put some fire in them ass.
Yep. Yep. And that's funny you mentioned that because even as an agency owner, I had my own magic number before I hired my first employee, right?
Mm,
So I had the magic number of how many clients do I need, and that client number also matched how much I needed in order to get a new employee. So for every five clients, I can add a new employee, right? That was my initial magic number. Then I start getting bigger clients. I'm like, well, it's more like every three. Now every three clients, I need to get a new employee, right? And then once you have those numbers, it's as much about having your magic number for your team as it is
mhm.
having your magic number for your
Yep.
revenue, your salary. That's the other thing. I didn't have a salary. I was just like, oh, if I make this, this is what I have left over. At some point, I was like, I just want to have a salary.
Hmm.
And then I developed a salary number. And I haven't moved from that salary number in 8 years now, right? And so
Wow.
it's one of those things where those magic numbers apply to everything: team
Yep.
building, revenue, profit, investing, you name it. It's all across the board. But even the client himself is like, I know my magic number. He has a net worth number. And I'm just like, how much do I have to make in profit from this promotion that will get you closer to that number?
Mm.
And once we figured out what that was, I was like, well, now we're going to have to spend this much money in order to get there.
It
So,
changes, and that's what I try
yeah,
to tell them. I tell them it's levels to this. So
hmm,
let's just say we're on level one. I'm like,
yep,
y'all, I just need y'all to get level one. Don't try to make it perfect. Just do the work,
yep,
because it will not be perfect. And that's what I have to tell people. Like, this is a whole test and try, and they have to get their feelings out of it. But a
yep.
lot of them, again, are new to this space. So, like, what would you tell someone that's new and they are super emotional? I won't say emotional, but definitely in their feelings, because they're attached to a lot of things, because they don't
Hmm.
understand that in this industry, these things change rapidly.
Yeah. Yeah. Business in general shifts very quickly, right? Advertising changes constantly. The fear that's associated with change oftentimes is connected to how fast or slow you move in your environment.
Mm.
Because if you think about it, advertising actually changes almost like every week. There's something that's changing. A network changes, there's a new feature. You're not allowed to target certain things anymore. They change compliance. I have to read the terms of service from Facebook like every month.
Wow.
just to make sure I'm not doing something wrong. And now with AI, I can have AI read it for me and tell me if there's changes. But imagine before AI, I couldn't do that. I had to read it every single month. And so think of it this way: the faster you can implement change, the less fear you have because you are ahead of the fear.
Ooh, now that's good. Say that one more time. You got to rewind that, David.
So the faster you can implement change, the quicker you're ahead of fear, meaning like you don't experience it. By the time it hits you that, oh my God, this can happen, you've already figured out the solution to it.
That's so good.
Because you are essentially ahead of the risk management protocol you need to stay in business, right? We all factor in risk, but we don't factor in what the big risk can be. Good example being 2020, right? But I did, because I already had a situation of my business falling apart twice. So I
Wow.
already had a fallback plan in case, God forbid, something happened. And when it did, I lost half my clients, literally 50% of my clients in 2 weeks from the day it was announced that we were all going on, you know what? And when that happened and everyone's like in panic mode, I lost 50% of my clients in 2 weeks. But you
Wow.
know what? I knew my numbers. I had enough clients to pay my people. I didn't have to fire my team. I had 6 months of reserves and I knew how to sell. So all
That's
I had to do was just get back to the grind. And within a couple months, I actually got back to where I was previously. And then a couple months after that, I was exceeding those numbers again. And it was because I was already ahead of what was going to happen. I'm like, oh, business falls apart? No biggie. 6 months, I'll be fine. I'll be completely fine because I already know what the plan is. I literally have a project in my project management system labeled risk. And whenever I'm stuck on something, I open it and it's all the scenarios that I imagined that could happen in my business. And I click the scenario and it tells me what to do.
Wait,
It
so you
literally,
created that? Like, wait a
I
minute.
created that myself.
So rewind. So you
Yeah.
have a folder called risks.
Yeah.
And
And
in
it's
this
every
folder,
possible bad thing that could happen in my business.
how did you
And
even think about all the past possible? Is it because those things already happened? Or
they've either happened to me or they
Mhm.
happen to someone I know.
Whoa, I
And
never
and
thought about that.
and because I'm a data-driven person,
Hmm.
I would just ask myself, if this happened, what would you do? And then I just wrote it all down.
Wow.
What would happen if half your clients left? I would do blah, 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 blah. And I would just write it all out. And then you follow up with it the next day. And guess what happens? You could fill in more blanks because every day you realize something more. And it's like, wait a minute, what if
Mm.
I do this? What if I do this? Next thing you know, it becomes almost like an SOP, right? It's almost
Yeah.
like a standard procedure now. It's like, oh, I lose half my clients, no biggie. I have an SOP that tells me how to get all my clients back, right? I already
Wow.
I already
You
have
remove the
something.
excuses.
No, there's no excuse anymore. And at the same time, that risk folder also told me how much I need to pay myself ahead of time so that if this does happen, I don't have to pay myself. Because I didn't pay myself for 6 months in 2020 because I was paying my
Mm.
team and I was fine. I didn't have to. Right? There's all these things that you can be prepared for because those things that you don't prepare for are what you end up fearing later. So if you already know that you're scared of these things,
They said, "Can
go.
we get a template?"
Yeah. Hey, I can't give those away. That's the stuff that I sell, right? That's the stuff I can't just give away.
So she
But
had a laughing emoji. They was looking like, well, hold on, I might need that template too.
it's a
No,
big
that
folder.
was so good though, David. Well, let's talk
Yeah, I
about
don't.
that because you
Yeah.
do have a whole course slash university. Listen,
Hmm.
I was waiting for that thing to drop for a minute, and I'm
Talk
like,
about
David, did you
another
drop it
thing I
yet?
was fearing for a while.
I was like,
It's
David,
like,
you dropped it yet? Did you drop it yet? I'm
yeah.
trying to get some clients in this thing. He was like, no, not yet, not yet. I'm like, when you gonna drop it, bro?
So I developed Convert University in 2020. That was version one.
Can we drop some
And
insights, you guys? Because he did it. He did
mhm,
it, though. I'm telling you. So y'all think just because people have achieved certain levels of success that they don't experience some of the things that you do as being newbies? We do.
mhm.
We do.
Yeah,
How long
waited
did it take you
13
to put
years
it
to
out?
make a course.
How long?
13 years before I made a course.
And
Like
we met in 2019.
18,
What?
19. Yeah.
18, 19, you guys. And I kept saying every 6 months, Dave, you got the course, you got the course. And you didn't
Yeah.
release it until 2020 or 2021.
2020. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's literally everything I know. It's everything, because I don't believe in just doing things in increments. I just go,
Mhm.
here's everything, because everyone has a different track that
Mhm.
they're gonna take. So I put everything in there, and then I labeled it by, where are you? Are you a beginner? Are you intermediate? Are you advanced? And then if you consider yourself beginner, start here. If you're intermediate, start here. If you're advanced, go over here, because you only need one thing in that course to change your whole business. So I just
Mm-mm.
put everything in there. So version 1, which has been updated along the way since then,
Mhm.
has it has 120 videos of stuff. And by stuff, I mean everything about ads that I know.
Wow.
From Facebook to Instagram, there's some TikTok in there. There's some YouTube in there. There's a way to merge it all together. Like, I give the whole process that I use for myself and for my clients. And if you go to convertuniversity.com, it's all there. It literally shows you everything that's in the course. And the great thing about it is I'm already working on 2.0, and
Mhm.
the whole concept behind Convert University was, if I had to start over, if my brain was erased and I had to relearn all of this, would this
Mhm.
be enough to start
Ooh,
over? Would
that's
I be in
good.
would I be in the same spot I am today? And so when I recorded it in a way where I can also use it for my team. So I was literally teaching my team how to run ads with the course. That was my
Wait,
way of knowing
that's
if it
so
was good.
genius.
So now if you are a new hire at my company, I just give you my course.
Wow.
I don't
Let me,
have to
I'm coming to
redo it.
work.
So if you want to learn ads, or someone in
Mhm.
your company wants to learn
Yes.
ads, or you're an agency and you're like, I need to make sure my people are at the highest level possible,
Hmm.
you just give them my course. And so, you know,
Hmm. You got my
just
brain spinning now.
yeah. So I've used it as training material. I've used it to teach, new business owners how to run ads. And you know what? Sometimes you go through it and you're like, you know what? Thank you for explaining it to me. I still want someone to do it for me. That's fine,
That'll be
because at
me.
the end of the hey, and you know what? That's fine, because now when you hire someone to do your ads, you understand what they're doing.
Now
So
that's
they
good.
can't
Now I
they
am
can't
an
they can't
advocate for
BS you
that.
now, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to understand it. It's good to understand the process. It's also good to understand what strategy can be implemented based on if you have a webinar, or you're trying to generate calls, or you want direct to sale because you're doing e-com. It's all there. And so, no pitch, no nothing. The point is this: when the 2.0 comes out in January, the price is going up dramatically. I'm being
Hmm.
honest. There's so much I'm about to put in this thing that I'm not lowering the price again. And where it's at right now, it's way too low.
Hmm.
So, you know, it's one of those things where now we're implementing TikTok training. We're going to implement organic strategy in there too, because I figured out some stuff with ads that I then applied to organic, and I'm like, oh, this just shortcut my whole process. And there's just things we're going to throw in for, as every network I run ads, I'm throwing something in there based on data. So if you just want to learn Facebook and Instagram, it's all there. If you want to
Gotcha.
look forward to TikTok and some YouTube and all that, that will be in there in January. And so if you get in now before the price goes up, this is not a pitch, whatever. It's the truth. It's going to
Well, it's
go
the
up,
pitch for me. If
but
you
you're
want to
good.
learn Facebook ads from one of the best in the industry,
Yeah.
then you need to join Convert University 1.0 before 2.0 comes out.
Yep. Yep. But it's everything that I know. And you can ask questions in there. There's a full community that you get to ask questions, and I answer it personally. It's no one else. It's me answering it for you. And then, yeah, just going to be updating everything, new fresh look, guides, templates, the whole deal. Like, we're going through a complete overhaul right now. And
Wait,
so,
so
yeah,
is 1.0 changing to 2.0, or whoever's in 1.0 stays in 1.0 and they have to?
stays.
Okay, gotcha. I just wanted to make sure.
What I will do
Look,
is,
somebody on the site already
yeah,
talking about the price ain't bad at all.
no, it's not. It to me, it's at a level where if I was wanting to start over, what would I be comfortable in paying? That's how I decided on the pricing.
Gotcha.
That's it. Well, I do it all based off of what I would do if I start over. Everything I do, it's like, okay, if I was buying this service for the first time and this is where my business is at, is it something that's affordable to me? That's how I price everything. So when I put the course together, I was like, yeah, just if it was the first time, I'd pay it. This is what I would pay, right? And so with 1.0, it'll still be incorporated. It's going to be called the foundation. That's what it's going to be relabeled as, because this is all the foundational material. And then all the new stuff will be in completely different modules.
Gotcha.
I'm building
So
my house. That's the way to look at it. So
say it again.
it's like building a house. Like
Oh,
all the
yeah.
foundational material is there. We're gonna redesign the whole house, and we're putting some cool stuff in it. So yeah, everything's in there for you to consume.
Now, is your community on Facebook or are you on an offline community?
It's all offline. So the course is built in a platform called Circle, and
That's
so
where we are. We're in
so
Circle.
everything's in Circle.
Yes.
Yep.
So we love Circle. That's our home as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
know all about it. So you're
Yep.
using the course version in Circle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dope.
We're gonna modify the whole look and feel. I actually talked to the team at Circle, that's based in Canada.
Hmm.
I talk to the team all the time, and
Wow.
we're working on features that are currently not available. We're gonna see if they can implement it in my community, because I want to build some evergreen stuff in there. So
Gotcha.
well, I want to make it to where it's like I could drip feed out stuff every couple days, and I don't have to physically do it. I want to schedule it and make it to
Gotcha.
where it's like it's in your inbox. You get a message automatically, and you can go click it, and it takes you directly
Oh,
there.
like how
Oh,
we did like on Teachable and those other platforms. Gotcha.
except Circle doesn't have it yet.
Right. Because they
So
just
I
started, they
was,
really just started their other version of the course. So, because I just
hmm
started putting one in here for the challenge for them. So
yep,
their replays for the challenge is as a in the course order.
yep. But
Yep.
I also want to make it so the thumbnail says this is coming out on this day, and then you
Yeah.
can revisit it when that day comes and it's already populated. I don't have to physically go in there and do it. So there's just some things that we're ironing out and testing, but yeah, it's all built in the Circle. I love the platform. We're incorporating all their new features. So if you see anything in there that looks like it's out of date, we're fixing everything. We're gonna make it look completely different by the time 2.0 is ready.
Gotcha.
So
So, I'm gonna
yeah,
call you because I'm gonna be like, hey, did they release this in Circle yet? What did they tell you? So I'm definitely gonna be hitting
yeah,
you up on
yeah.
that.
We're hoping they do it all, but we're making a lot of requests. So
Gotcha. Hey, that's you are one of their betas. Might as
hmm
well.
yeah,
That is going to be a game changer. Yes. Anybody got any questions for David? So we have had him on an hour tonight sharing. David, thank you so much. Thank you
no
so much
problem.
for this. This was so good because now you gave us another way to look at marketing from the perspective of Facebook ads, IG ads, but also just understanding more like what to really focus on before you even get into all of that.
Hmm.
So thank you, thank you, thank you. If
Absolutely.
you guys have any questions, go ahead and let us know in the chat. If you don't, type I'm good. Type I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. This is so good. So um, we definitely will love to have you back one day. I'm not sure how soon because
I'm in Q4 madness right now. So we would probably, you know what? You could always do like a Q4 in review type of thing.
oh yeah,
State of the industry. It's the
yeah,
beginning of 2024 type of thing. Because every ad platform makes changes in January
that's
because
true.
they're all preparing for the new year. So you can almost do like a review of the fourth quarter and what to look for in 2024.
I love that. They said, "Thank you, David." Kanajwa
Absolutely.
says, any beginners tips for those who want to start in the evergreen market?"
So that's an interesting question, because every market is evergreen in a sense. So
Hmm.
when I say evergreen, it is an offer, whether product or service, that could be sold at any point in time, regardless of price, regardless of market condition. That makes it evergreen. So
Hmm.
when I think of how do you make yourself evergreen in the market, well, the first thing you got to do is find a product or service people want all year round.
That's right.
So that might be the first question to figure out. It's like, do you have that thing? And then if so, you got to put the whole plan together to make it an evergreen product, which is, can you sell it organically? Can you sell it with ads? Do both men and women want it? It's like there's all sorts of things that you got to figure out first. But yeah,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. They are saying they are so good. June said, thank you all. I have so much to sit on, and I'm so good for now." For her offers, because Antonio was on talking about offers the other day, so they was like,
Hmm.
"Wait, what?" So we have exposed them to a lot. So what I definitely want to do is, because my goal is to gradually now, as we're introducing them to these things, and they're actually doing the work. I mean, a lot of
Hmm.
them are growing like really, really fast, right? I want to be able to, now when they're ready, they know they have people I can connect them with, that I trust, that I know can get them to the next level. You know, so
Hmm.
you'll definitely be one of those people that I know will help them where they are. And so, APs, neighbors, are we good with bringing David back? Are we good with bringing David to Jacksonville? Let me know in the chat. Let us know, because that's the goal. We want to maybe again help them where they are,
Hmm.
as they're doing the work. So again, thank you so much. We will be reaching out to you again, like you say, first, second quarter, but more importantly, we want to get you here to the city, because we've been dying to get you here for like the last year and a half anyway.
I was born
Listen.
in Florida. I visited Jacksonville a ton when I was in college, considering I went to Gainesville. So
Mm.
I'm familiar with Duval in period, right? So
Duval.
so I'm more than happy to come back out there. I'm Florida boy forever, so I will be more than happy to come back.
Yay. Awesome, awesome. Well, you guys get ready, because we have to be online at 6 a.m. in the morning. So go ahead and let it marinate. Yeah, we have our lives at 6 a.m. our training. So
That
listen,
is a
if you
grind.
serious about it, look, and they serious. You see, they there in the morning, they here at night. But if you're serious about it, then listen, we're in this thing. Well, thank you, David. You have an amazing day. APs, I see you guys in the morning. Do your homework. Do your homework, and we'll talk to you soon.